episode of the Belching Monkey. I'm Michael Schneider, themichaelschneider.com, your host. And today we're going to look at some pumpkin beers on our first ever episode. Got some great things to look forward to on the show. We're going to be looking at beer. We're going to be looking at eventually moving into soda and maybe some teas as well. But let's start off with beers. And the first one we're going to look at today is one called Shipyard Pumpkinhead Ale. This is a great beer. It comes from Shipyard Brewery up in Maine. I already cracked this bottle open. I think we actually have a clip of these beers being brewed. So we got a clip? Yeah, let's go to the clip.
Well, you already got a hole in it.
Yeah. Good.
Pumpkin Regatta. Not nearly as crazy as some other sports like, say, the Bog Snorkeling Championship or the cheese rolling championships, but still pretty important in terms of sports. Let's take a quick look at it. Pour a little bit into the glass here. As you can see, it's kind of a mid-range, sort of to light color. I don't know if it's going to be easy to see, but let's even compare it to the pumpkin here. Leaves out of the way. Swirl it around a little, and you take a smell. It doesn't really have a pumpkin-y smell to it. If I compare it to the jack-o'-lantern here, the pumpkin has almost a fruity smell to it. This one's been out since Halloween, so it's getting a little bit ripe, and there's ants inside it and all that kind of good stuff. But this is much different. It's got more of a baked smell. It's definitely got a nutmeggy, sort of very strong nutmeg kind of smell to it, and almost a brown sugar kind of smell to it as well. So let's take a quick. Wow. It doesn't taste like pumpkin. It's got there's definitely a kind of light beer kind of quality to it, almost like a Sam Adams Light that's been finished with pumpkin pie. It's got a bit of a kind of a bite to it at the end. The finish bites, but it doesn't. It's not as smooth as you'd think. It's not as smooth as you'd think for a beer this color. It's got kind of almost a citrus finish to it. I like it. It's a very good beer. I actually drink quite a bit of it, and I definitely recommend this beer. I'll give it, say, an 85 because I think it's got courage and flavor to it. So let's move on to another offering. This is Harvest Moon's Pumpkin Ale from the Blue Moon Brewing Company, which I believe is a Coors product. This is allegedly amber-colored, naturally flavored, brewed only in the autumn, and combines the flavor of vine-ripened pumpkin and spices with traditional crystal malt. I'm skeptical. I do like Blue Moon's white ale. I think it's pretty nice if you put some lemon in it. It doesn't challenge me at all. It's very kind of middle of the road, kind of appealing to the masses kind of beer. It's definitely not as courageous as a Shipyard Pumpkinhead Ale, which I don't think is going to appeal to everybody. I think this is more of somebody who really likes the pumpkin brew genre, which I happen to. So I think that one's made more for me than for some other people. But let's move over to the drinking jar. Let's take a quick whiff of this. In the bottle, the flavor's more subtle. It has more of that kind of a similar smell to what you might expect when you crack open, say, a harpoon or something along those lines. Put it in the old drinking jar here, swirl it around a little bit, maybe throw that first swirl out, get to the actual flavor here. Ooh. That's got more of a, it's got almost like a flower garden type scent to it, if you will. It's really kind of a strong floral sort of smell. The color's about the same. Let's compare the colors here. Give this a second. Actually, look, this is much darker, surprisingly, than the Shipyard. And I don't think the flavor is quite as strong here. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. Whiff and a taste. Wow, that starts off tasting just like candy corn. Definitely a candy corn flavor. The pumpkin is kind of there. It's very subtle. Yeah, I'm tasting cream. I'm tasting candy corn, and I actually have had more than my fair share of candy corn this fall. So I'm feeling like I might throw up in my mouth a little bit. But if you like candy corn, this is a good beer if you don't mind a little bit of a candy taste to it. The beer itself, I'd say, it's a little hoppier than this one. It's got more of a hoppy flavor, but the bite is much less at the end. The finish of this is a little bit smoother. It does kind of leave sort of a candy corn meets IPA aftertaste in your mouth. I'm not sure how much I like this one. I'm gonna give it say a 75. I have 100. So the beers that we looked at today: Shipyard Pumpkinhead Ale. Oh, wow, it's really biting on that third taste. Yeah, it definitely has a bite to it. This is a decent beer. I think both of these are good beers if you like that seasonal pumpkin beer. I'd recommend going out and checking out either of them. As always, we have full separate reviews of these beers on the site. We ask that you go to the site and give us your thoughts on the beers and give us your ratings. I mean, what we'd like to be able to do over time is to put together, kind of a library of beers that we've rated and get people to weigh in, so we can get other opinions on how much people like these beers or don't like them. I mean, I'm not an expert per se on beers, but I have been drinking them for, say, 15, 16, 17, 18 years now. I've been the kind of person who sort of explores each genre. I haven't been sort of focused on Budweisers or Millers or things of that nature. In fact, I pretty much refuse to drink those. So I'd love to get you to the site, love to get you to comment on these beers and get your thoughts as well. Also, please send us a picture of you with your beer, and we'll post your face on the site, and you can tell all your friends that you're famous and you're on the internet and stuff on belchingmonkey.com. So visit belchingmonkey.com, and let me see if I can get one out. Here I go. Oh, horrible. Oh, that was horrible. We'll have to work on that over the weeks. I mentioned this before noon, and I'm drinking.